Welcome again, my friends. We are back to the front end right now, and it is time for the home page. In this section right here, we need to create the home page layout, and then we have to create the left side, which is going to be our sidebar. We're going to also get and list all the user conversations there, with the left side. As you know, what's up, you've seen it, you know how it is. On the left side, there is the conversation there, and there is also the work that we have to do on the search users functionality. So it seems like it's a lot, and it is actually. We have to go one by one or step by step. So this is our home page, and this is what we see in the browser. I'm already logged in with the same user that we used in the backend to create this, okay? So I'm trying to use the same information so you can relate between them. So this is the backend. Let me go back to the front end. Let me zoom out a little bit. I feel like this is better. So let me start right here. I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna add a class name here. So I'm gonna add the height to be screen, okay? Or actually, because that might work, but let me just add the minimum height to be screen. That's better for compatibility with all different devices. And then I'm just gonna go, when we are in dark mode, I'm just gonna go and make BG, and then I will go dark BG1, okay, the first one. Let me save and see. Okay, this is what I actually want to do. And then I will make it flex, and then items center, and then I will have justify center, and then also I will have the padding from the y-axis. I'm gonna have a custom value, which is gonna be 19 pixels, and then I will have overflow hidden like that. And that is the first step we have here. So let me go down here, and inside we can have our container. So container here. And then here we're just gonna have a div, and this div simply is gonna have a class name that is called container, okay, and also it's gonna have another class name that is called flex. So this is just simply the container. Where we're gonna create that is, I'm just gonna go back to the index itself, and here, so we used this custom one, we were testing with it, so now we're not gonna need it. So now let me go and work on the container. So for the container, I'm just gonna go remove all of this. What we need to apply is what actually want to do. So I'm just gonna apply the width to be, for example, 1700 pixels for now, and then also I'm gonna have the height to be 4 like this. And that's my container. I'm gonna need a few other stuff that we're gonna work later. So let me just create a button right here that I might need, so I don't forget that. So I'm just gonna apply, and then the width, I'm gonna make it 40 pixels, and then the height also to be the same, so 40 pixels. And then I'm gonna have rounded to be 4, and then I'm just gonna have flex like that, and then I will have the items center, and then justify content to be center, so justify center. And then when it's in the active state, we're gonna actually have some sort of background for this one, I believe. Let me actually just check. But we're not gonna have a background for this, but only in the active status is gonna be the dark hover 1, okay, BG dark hover 1. So we're just gonna change the background to be this color when it's in the active state. So let me go back to my home, and inside here, the first thing I want to create is gonna be the sidebar. So I'm gonna go here, and this is gonna be my sidebar, which is where we're gonna work now. So what I can do is actually go back to my components right here, create a new folder, and I'm gonna call this folder sidebar like this. And inside of this, I'm just gonna go and actually create my sidebar.gsx, okay, like that. And then I will use IRC like this. So something that I like to do right here in the sidebar, I just use the index here .gs, okay, that's it. And something I should have done right here, but I didn't. But now, as we can have so many components, I feel like it's a good thing to do. So what you do right here is just you import the sidebar there from the sidebar, and then you just have to export it. So export, and then simply sidebar like this. So now if I have other components like for header or whatever, I can just simply use this index to import them. And now whenever I want to import something, I will just go to the sidebar folder. That's it. I don't have to go search for it exactly where it is, because I've already imported here and I can export it here. So now, for example, I am just gonna call the sidebar component C. So the sidebar, and you see now, where did I import it? Just from the sidebar. I didn't have to go / then the sidebar file. So this is a cool trick that people use. So now that I have the sidebar, I need to go inside that and work on it. So let me remove this import. We don't need that. Let me remove here. And then I'm just going to have a class. Sorry, let me remove everything here. And then let me add a class name. And the width of this one is going to be 40%. So these things can be changed because I always like to change my UI somehow after. And then, so I'm going to just have select none. So you can't actually do anything with the cursor. Like you cannot select anything. So this is just user select none. So inside of here, I need the sidebar header. So the sidebar header. Okay. So this is the sidebar header that we're going to have. So we need to create that. So this is something that we also have to do. So now that I am having this sidebar header, I can actually, so like you can just add directly here, or you can, because I feel like, do we gonna have multiple ones? You know what, I may actually do this, because in the sidebar header, we may add some other stuff. So maybe I will go here and create another folder, and I'm gonna call this header, or maybe I can just name it sidebar and then header, something like that. Or maybe underscore, whatever you prefer. Maybe I'll use underscore. I actually don't know. This is just naming conventions depending on you. Do whatever you're more comfortable with. Call it header. That's totally fine. So it is totally fine. I'm just going to change its header. And the reason for that, because if I went here and I call this sidebar header, for example, .gsx and then rfc, so I can just simply go here now to my sidebar, and actually for the header, I can actually use the index the same way if I want to, but that's depending on you. I like to do it, to be honest with you, but if you don't like it, that's totally fine. So I'm just going to import the sidebar header and then just simply export it. So export and then the sidebar header like that. And that means if I went back to my sidebar, here I need the sidebar header, just from header. Okay, so any components from the header, I will just always go to the header, even if there is something inside there. So now that I have the sidebar header, I need to actually now work on that. This is going to be like our first, proper work. So let me close to the right. Sorry, not the index. I got to go back to the sidebar header inside here. And let me start working. First of all, I'm just going to add a class name here. The height here is going to be a custom property, which is 50 pixels. And then I will continue within the dark mode right here. My BG is going to be dark BG2. Sorry, dark first. So my BG is going to be dark BG2 like that. And then I will have flex. Flex. And then I will have add some center like that. And I will have a padding 16 like this. So this padding 16 property, I actually have to add it also in the index. So just because it's something that was like, we're going to use quite a few times. I don't remember exactly, but let me just add it right here. So just the P16 is just going to apply a padding on the x-axis by 16 pixels. If you don't want to add it as a class name, you can just apply that directly here. But I'm just adding it because if I remember, I think I've used it a few times. That's actually the reason I'm adding it there. So let me go inside again and we add a container. Sorry. So sorry, can I actually just type something right? So this is the container, and also this one is gonna have the width to be 4, then also it's gonna have flex, and then we will have item center, and then also I'm gonna have justify between like this. Can I actually just look if I see any difference? Okay, I'm seeing a little bit here. Let me go back to the normal zoom in. So reset, and you can see there is something here. And let me go back right now. So we have the width for everything, and then justify between, and it doesn't seem like to get the full height. So let me go back to my sidebar. We have the height 4, and then where is the home? So for the container, do we have to actually add width 4? Let me just check. Actually, let me just continue working, and I will, look into it later. I don't want to, trouble you a lot. So right here is just going to be the user image. And then here, what I need to do is I'm just going to have a button with the class name button that we created. And then inside of it, I'm just going to have an image, and the source of it, what do you think it's going to be? It's going to be the picture user. So I can actually go here. I go const user, and then the use selector. and then simply go to the state, and then you can actually go to the state.user, and we're gonna get the user, and we can actually go user.picture, because if you remember, when you log in, we dispatch the user to the store. So there we have the user, which is the property picture. So if I went back, I can actually see that. You can see it. Everything looks beautiful. We just go in, one by one. And then I go to the alt property, and this one is just going to be the user.name. All right. And then also I'm going to have a class name here. So for the class name, the width is going to be 4. And then the height for also, it's just going to be like the same as the parent component, which is the button. And then I will have rounded 4. And then also I will have objects cover for objects fit cover, like this. And this was the button. And then right here we can have some user icons. So user icons like this. And let me just go always lowercase. So I just like to stay consistent. So let me go under here, and I'm gonna have an ordered list right here, and I'm gonna give it flex, and then also I'm gonna give it the item center. So items center, and then also I'm gonna have the gap in the x-axis to be 2.5, so the space between them in the x-axis. And we're gonna have a list item. We actually could have created like a custom component for this one. Yeah, it seems like would have been the best idea, but it's totally fine right now. So for this list item, I'm also gonna have a button with the button, so like that, class name, and then inside of it I'm just gonna have the icons now. So the community icon, that is my first icon. And then simply we can add a class name, which is going to be fill class name, which is going to be simply probably in the dark mode, that's it. So yeah, because it's going to be different. So in the dark, what we're going to do, fill with the dark is VG1, like that. And I need to import this icon. So I'm just going to go to the tab, import community icon from, and then I have to go to the SVGs. Actually need to go a little bit up again, and then SVG like that. So let me see what I have. So you can see now I have this community icon SVG. So we're doing really, really well. So now I have to continue and add the rest of them. So I can take this list item here, and I'm gonna copy it again, and then again, and then again. So let me show you what we have to do for the community icon after this one. This one is gonna be story, and then icon. I click enter, and then I will go to the other one, which is going to be chat icon. So can I actually click please chat icon, and we get it. And then also I'm going to go after that, and I'm going to go dots icon. Do I get it? I actually do. So here are the icons that we all gonna need. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, this is a good start. Let me reset everything. Okay, this is good. So don't worry, because we added the items to be in the center right here, that's why it's centered this. But the height of the sidebar would be 4. That's why, it's gonna work, don't worry. So I'm gonna add that later. But it should have been added here, because we added the height to be 4. So for the sidebar, and then home we have the container, we should have added, if I added like the minimum height 4, it doesn't, so maybe have to add screen here just for now. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do this like this, just for now. You can see it right now in the right place. And also it seems like too much width right here, so we may actually change that. So now we have to actually just get it done. First of all, do it so we can see something, and then those few stuff like the width and stuff can be easily changed. So yeah, let's stop here in this video, and let's continue on the next video.